Hello, this is Lisa Nicole, host of the Sacred and Rooted podcast. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. Thanks for tuning in today. This is part of the Happiness Habit series, which is going to run through the summer. It also ran last summer, so if you want to catch up on past episodes, you're totally more than welcome. And they're episodes 18 through 28. So if you scroll back, you'll see them. And that's why this one's called number 13, because I started on number 12 just a few days earlier for this summer, but we did 11 last summer. So that's that. That's why it might seem a little illogical as far as the numbering goes. So this episode is, I guess it's asking the question, are you investing your energy wisely? And so I was listening to a podcast a few weeks ago, and I can't remember whose podcast it was, but that little tidbit of a sentence came into my awareness. I don't know how your intuition works, but sometimes one of the ways mine works is that if a sentence that somebody says or I hear or read is somehow really important for me, it'll almost jump out of the page or get bolded or kind of like a resonance. It feels like there's a resonance there. And so that's what happened while I was listening to this podcast. Was I think the sentence was something like, are you investing? Or it wasn't a question. It was almost like this is how you should be doing it. Investing energy instead of spending time. And so that's the question today. I wanted to convey that to all you podcast listeners just because I thought it was so powerful to turn the idea of, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that, into an energy question. So it's like, are you investing? What do I want to invest my energy in? What am I investing my energy in now? And does that jive with what I really want to do? Is that a good reflection of a happy life for me? And so it's been really interesting to see as the podcast, has grown. It's amazing to me which episodes, I guess it's not really surprising, but it's a really good reinforcement of what people seem to be most interested in. And the episodes that have had the most exposure are ones that are, had a infused joy in your life, your dreams, your hopes and dreams for the future. And then also just the fact that everyone's feeling tired because they're interested in how not to feel tired. So this kind of sparked this episode where I put all that together, and it's okay, well, why don't we, from here on out, design our lives around the question, should I invest my energy in this? And see how that frames and kind of is one of the questions you ask as far as decision making goes. Do I want to invest my energy in this, or what is my current energy level, and do I even have energy for this next thing or whatever it is? Because I think the future is really, it's energetic, it's telepathic, it's so the presence that we bring to everything that we do is crucial. And so to begin to use that as a baseline factor, should I do this or shouldn't I? And one of the questions would be, do I want to invest my energy? And your energy is kind of, time is a similar thing where we only have an amount of time. We just don't know how much. But same with energy, where energy is a little more day to day though, because we can sort of see that as, if I'm going to burn myself out, or I'm going to, fall into bed at night and just be completely exhausted, then there's some things that I probably need to start removing from my day. And a few episodes earlier, I talked about the fact that some of the reasons why we're so exhausted isn't actually because we can't, do literally so many, whatever number of things in a day, but that a lot of the things that we are doing are depleting. They're not, they don't come from like a soul inspiration. They come from just like, oh, I have to do this. And, maybe you feel like you should. All the things you feel like you should do are things that don't necessarily come with a high value of energy infusion. And so some of the magic that you can create in your life is that the things that really light you up basically use up no energy. They give you energy. And so your energy is not just like you have so much of it. Say you have like, I don't even know how to say that in an energy term, but say you have like a big bag of energy just for fun, because I can't think of anything else right now. But if you have a big bag of energy and you just use it up, and then eventually it's all empty, that's not actually how energy works at all. Energy, you can do something like literally an activity in your life that will give you energy. It will give you a positive energetic return. And so you would be filling your bag of energy with more energy, even though you just were doing whatever activity. And so that's where the magic happens, where you can really still look like you're doing a lot of things in your day, or not, depending on how you want to design your life. But you can go to bed and feel completely inspired, completely turned on, completely like in your life and ready, like really in it. And you still would have spent the day doing a bunch of different things. It feels totally different. It looks the same. So I really wanted to make that distinction, because I think a lot of times when we're looking at our life, and if it's not, maybe there's some tweaks to be had, but to try and figure out which ones have the highest value, like the biggest bang for your buck. Because we want to be doing things that are energetically refueling us and not constantly just draining us. And so that is this question: are you investing your energy wisely? Is a really, really good one to sit with in meditation, maybe, or walking meditation, wherever, just to ponder. And to notice even in your life, if you kind of just use that as something to reflect on over a week or two and see where you just feel like, whew, that was like, I feel wasted after that. Or where you come back from something and it's like, you're on top of the world, you have all this energy, you're totally inspired, and you have all these like, you're in your joy, you're excited, you're in your life in like a full way. And imagine the difference in presence that you bring to whatever you're doing. And so obviously there's some things in life that are just going to be chores, but they don't need to be like miserable chores. They really don't. And so whether you share the load with somebody else, or maybe you do it together, maybe you do different chores, but you don't have to do all of the chores. Just consider how your life could work a little more energetically efficiently, let's say, efficiently, and what you could tweak or what you could do to really allow yourself to feel the hits of like energy refuel in your day, where you know that you're re-energizing yourself and re-inspiring yourself and really dipping into your bliss and just joy, allowing yourself to have joy as like almost like a daily requirement, because your energy, whatever you're investing your energy in, just like if you're investing your money, you want it to make a return. You want to have more of it in the end. And so I understand why we currently don't do that, but energetically we should be looking for, like, what can I do that would really fuel me? so that at the end of the day, you fall asleep in bed thinking, wow, that was great. What a great day. You had loving connections with people, you had quality time, you did something that moved a dream of yours further down the road so that you're moving it forward and not just having it constantly nag at you in the background. Just anything. It literally could be an endless amount of things depending on who you are and what's important to you. But to begin to really use that as like your centering decision-making process. So it's not just like, yeah, I have time for that. I could fit that in like in this 30 seconds, and then you do it half-assed, super fast, just for the sake of getting it done. And like that doesn't leave anybody with like a real good feeling of accomplishment or, like joy, or just, it's just a bit of a struggle. And so that kind of mentality we really need to get rid of in, the next years, months, decades, whatever it is. But like to really build a future where we are truly sustainable is going to require us to be at a little, like in our life, we need to be sustainable, right? Because whatever we're going to do with the world, it needs to start from within. Like that's how everything manifests, is from within. And so if we have all these humans on the planet, and people, a lot of us live our lives in an unsustainable way. And so we get sick, we die early, we are stressed our entire life and just barely hanging on, white knuckling it. Like we need to get rid of that kind of societal acceptance of like what a successful life might be, where if you have money but you're white knuckling it, somehow you're still like way more of a success than somebody else who has real happiness, like meaningful, energetic happiness and pleasure in their life. And maybe they're not the richest person in the world, but like honestly, we don't need people to be hoarding money anymore in the billionaire kind of way. Like that's way more than enough. Like nobody needs that much money. So that's sort of a little off topic there, but it just, I guess, is a way of expressing that like we really, we talk a lot about environmental sustainability needs to be something that comes all the way through our life. And so it's like in women's lives, we are not living sustainably because we are just we're under-resourced, but over-committed, and we have to stop doing that. And so if you use your energy as a gauge, just start saying no to stuff. Start saying no. A whole bunch of things could probably just be like, no, I really, like, I don't have and literally you could change your language. I don't have the energy for that right now. And to then other things that obviously maybe you can't get rid of, even if you would love to at this point, try and rework them, reframe them in your mind, share the load with people in your life. However you can, create something that feels a little more energetically refueling or energetically just not draining. Anything but draining. Let's start at a bare minimum. Anything but draining. And it can be as small as like sometimes when, like listening to music while you're washing the dishes, or, lighting candles at dinner to make it just feel like a little more like lovely. And to just add that extra layer of like juicy meaningfulness in your life, it can come from so many directions. So just wanted to put that question out there. Each one of you is totally brilliant and resourceful and whole in your own life. And so I know there'll be some, I just want to get the creative juices flowing. And from there, I totally trust that this is something that every woman in the world can do and kind of like reorganize your life with as a central theme. And from there, when we are sustainably living in our own lives, energetically, personally, socially, the sustainability of everything else, further out and further out in our communities, in our world, in our countries, whatever, it'll be so much more natural. It'll just turn over, because then it would be almost like when I was in Italy, where it's like the Italians are just like, this is just the way it is here, kind of looking at me sometimes when I'm asking questions about takeout, because nobody takes food out. Oh, like they do, but it's just not the norm. And so the norm is to like enjoy your meal, sit down, be present to it, just have a lovely time, and then get up and do the next thing. And so it'll just be that sustainable quality of our energy will then become just like, this is the way it is. And we would have then changed the way our culture runs, which would be fantastic. And from there on, the harder questions, right now, the questions that are the biggest, hardest, seemingly impossible changes we need to make, like they'll just naturally become, the solutions will just naturally become obvious, because we would have changed from the inside out. Anyway, that is what I wanted to say in this episode. I think I'll leave it at that. I hope you, dig into it a bit and see, how is your energy levels? Are you investing your energy wisely or not? And whatever the answer, no shame, no guilt, no nothing, just it's information. And with information, you can make different decisions. And it's as simple as that if you want it to be. Not that some of the decisions will be, it'll take some courage to really kind of move some things around, especially if your family life has gotten, your family members have gotten used to the way that you've always been. But I think in the long run, everyone will be much improved, because no matter what, your loved ones want you to be happy. They'll be happier when you're happier. It's just a ripple effect. And so, but it does take courage to introduce some different topics or different ways of being. And so I want to recognize that as well. And just say you're strong enough. You can do that if you've been running yourself on empty for this long and managing to kind of keep it all together. Then you are certainly tough enough to have some difficult conversations maybe, but productive and, changes that maybe need to happen just for more happiness all the way around. And that'll be something worth celebrating when it does come to fruition. All right, I will leave it at that. I will see you in the next episode. I wish you a beautiful day, and I wish you some energy refueling, some inspiration, some love and magic in your day. And I will see you in the next episode. Thanks. Take care.